A man was unexpectedly bitten by a venomous snake while on an archaeological dig. After realizing it was a highly toxic rattlesnake, he tried to call for help despite the excruciating pain, but the venom quickly spread throughout his body, paralyzing him instantly, causing the phone to fall to the ground. Jack swiftly took out his knife, cut open the wound, and vigorously sucked out the poison. Unable to pick up the phone, he staggered towards home. Little did he know this series of mishaps inadvertently saved his life. Upon reaching home, he collapsed on the bed, utterly exhausted. But the crisis was far from over. Jack reminded himself to keep breathing. However, as his heart rate accelerated, he soon fell into a coma. After an unknown period of time, Jack finally regained consciousness. Not only had he survived the venom, but the wound on his hand had also healed completely. An intense hunger struck him. Jack prepared to head to town in search of food, but the scene before him left him shocked. The car was covered in dust, clearly indicating a significant amount of time had passed. At that moment, Jack couldn't afford to dwell on it. He could only proceed to the city to find sustenance. However, the further he drove, the more bizarre the situation became. The once bustling streets were now completely deserted, leaving behind an eerie silence. It wasn't until he passed by a supermarket entrance that Jack finally stopped the car, because just a few meters away a man lay on the ground. His appearance clearly indicated an unnatural death, his entire skin as white as paper. Jack realized something major must have happened while he was unconscious, so he continued exploring the vicinity. Scattered shopping carts signaled a massive looting spree. There was even a green armored vehicle and a lifeless pedestrian corpse. At this point, Jack was utterly bewildered, until he discovered a sign on a lamppost, informing him that the authorities were instructing people to head to shelters. Jack was completely stunned. He hurriedly drove back home to find his parents. On the way, he turned on the radio only to learn that he had been in a coma for 3 weeks. During those 3 weeks, a massive infection had swept across the globe. The infection rate reached several 100,000 per second, enough to bring the entire world to a standstill. It seemed he might be the only survivor left. Jack finally reached home in a state of panic, but the unexpected still happened.